System. Central nervous system consists of intracranial and extracranial part. There are two cerebral hemispheres, basal ganglia, brainstem, and cerebellum in the intracranial part, and spinal cord and cauda equina in the extracranial part. In this figure, you can see the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. We have frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. Executive functions and emotions are associated with the frontal lobe. It determines the personality. The sensory function, language, and calculation is responsible for in the parietal lobe. The auditory perception, language, verbal memory, smell, and balance is associated with the temporal lobe, and visual processing is associated with occipital lobe. The outer gray matter is composed of nerve cells, and it contains certain areas that control specific functions. The white matter consists of nerve fibers and it conducts impulses. The basal nuclei at the base of each cerebral hemisphere is formed of basal ganglia, thalamus, subthalamus, and hypothalamus. The basal ganglia consist of caudate nuclei and the putamen. They together compose of striatum, which is the origin for the extrapyramidal system. Here we have globus pallidus, the part of the basal ganglia. The another part of basal nuclei are thalamus, hypothalamus, and subthalamus. The thalamus consists of relay to almost all the tracts going from the spinal cord. The hypothalamus is responsible for thirst, hunger, sleep, to regulate those items of the human life cycle. This is pituitary gland. It is also known as the master gland that controls all other endocrine glands. We have here midbrain, pons, and the medulla. The motor nuclei of cranial nerves 3 and 4 in the midbrain, 5, 6, and 7 in the pons, 9, 10, and 11, 12 in the medulla. The first, the second, and the eighth cranial nerves have no motor nuclei, they are purely sensory nerves. The cerebellum lies in the back and bottom of the cranium behind the brainstem and the posterior cranial fossa. The spinal cord lies in the spinal canal. It ends at the lower border of first lumbar vertebra. The segments of the spinal cord: cervical segments 8, thoracic segments 12, lumbar segments 5, and 5 sacral segments. S1, S2, L4, and L5 compose epiconus, and the S3, S4, and S5 compose of conus medullaris. The gray matter of the spinal cord, which is inner part, and the white matter of the spinal cord, which is outer part. The white matter is composed of nerve fibers, like in the cerebrum, and the gray matter is composed of nerve cells. The gray matter of the spinal cord is just shaped, consisting of anterior horns, lateral horns, and the posterior horns. These are the two anterior horns, which are responsible for the motor function. The efferent sensory fibers are present in the posterior part and relate to the posterior horns of the gray matter. In the posterior horns of the gray matter, the posterior horn is responsible for the sensory function. The efferent fibers makes interneuronal connection through the posterior horn, and the efferent fiber is present in the anterior part of the spinal cord related to the anterior horn. The efferent fiber is connected to the muscle, thus the sensation producing the muscle action. The white matter contains fibers arranged in tracts. It can be ascending tracts going upwards and descending tracts going downwards. Lateral and ventral spinothalamic tracts, which is responsible for the superficial sensations, the posterior column for the deep sensation, and spinocerebellum for the cellular information. The pyramidal tract, also known as corticospinal tract, it arises from the cerebrum and acts in the opposite part of the body. And the extrapyramidal tract, it regulates the movement of the body. And the cerebellospinal tract, it checks the coordination of the movement. Now here we have cauda Kuna, which is the collection of lumbosacral roots. It fills the lower part of the spinal canal. It starts at the lower border of L1.